Welcome to Echoes of the Sleeping Prophet, the Edgar Cayce story, part 1 of 2. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, was an American clairvoyant and healer who became one of the most well-known psychics of the 20th century. In his waking state, Edgar Cayce was a soft-spoken man with a humble education, but when entranced under hypnosis, he revealed an incredibly vast knowledge across a myriad of fields, including medicine, the soul's journey, human origins, past lives, lost civilizations, and predictions of future world events. His readings, delivered while he was in a self-induced sleep-like state, have been transcribed into an extensive archive of over 14,000 documented cases. Edgar Cayce's influence has extended into areas such as holistic health and spiritual philosophy. In 1931, he founded the Association for Research and Enlightenment, ARE, to preserve and study his work. Born on March 18, 1877, in Christian County, Kentucky, United States, Edgar Cayce was an ordinary boy except in school, where he struggled academically. He said he could see auras around people and hear the voices of departed relatives. He often had difficulty keeping his focus on school lessons. By age 12, his reading level was still at a third-grade standard. Despite his academic challenges, Edgar showed a remarkable devotion to the Bible, reading it through once for every year of his life. Edgar Cayce's special gifts were bestowed upon him through a divine encounter with an angel. Around the age of 10, while reading the Bible in the retreat of the woods, he felt a presence and saw a woman with wings who said to him,
"Your prayers have been heard. Tell me what you would like most of all, so that I may give it to you."
Drawing inspiration from teachings of the Bible, Edgar replied,
"Most of all, I would like to be helpful to others, especially to children when they are sick."
Suddenly, she was gone. He searched for her in the beams of light, but there was no trace of her. The angel would come to Edgar once more. Due to his inability to spell the word cabin, he was required to stay after school to write it 500 times. After being notified of the situation, Edgar Cayce's father relentlessly drilled him in his spelling lessons. Despite their best efforts, Edgar's progress did not improve. Late at night, Edgar heard the angelic voice say to him,
"If you can sleep a little, we can help you."
Adhering to the divine advice, Edgar placed his head on the spelling book and went to sleep. When he awoke, he had gained complete mastery over the entire contents of the spelling book. He repeated this process with other subjects in school and had the same successful results. While playing in the schoolyard, Edgar Cayce was hit by a ball, causing a spinal injury that left him in shock. That night, while appearing to be asleep, he recited the ingredients for a medicinal poultice that could cure his ailment. With no other options available, his parents prepared and applied the remedy. The following morning, Edgar woke up pain-free with no recollection of the events from the previous night. At 15 years old, Edgar Cayce left school after completing 8th grade. He held a series of jobs ranging from farm labor to working as a bookstore clerk and shoe salesman. During his early 20s, Edgar Cayce joined his father as a traveling insurance salesperson until he lost his voice. For months, he could not speak. As news spread of Edgar's condition, a local hypnotist named Al C. Lane offered to help. Edgar was put in a trance and asked to describe his own condition. While under hypnosis, Edgar Cayce spoke.
"Yes, we can see the body. In the normal state, this body is unable to speak because of a partial paralysis of the inferior muscles of the vocal cords. This is a psychological condition producing a physical effect. It may be removed by increasing the circulation to the affected parts by suggestion while in the unconscious condition."
Al Lane proceeded to administer the hypnotic suggestion to improve blood flow in Edgar Cayce's paralyzed vocal cords. Immediately, there was a noticeable increase of color in the upper chest and throat region. Within minutes, while still under a trance, Edgar Cayce reported that his condition had been cured. Upon waking up, he was able to speak normally for the first time in over 12 months. After witnessing Edgar Cayce's amazing and successful self-diagnosis, all while in a trance, Al Lane asked Edgar to help assess his own physical condition. The sleeping Edgar Cayce spoke crisply and incisively, while Al Lane quickly took notes, his pencil flying across the sheets. One by one, the filled sheets fluttered to the floor. When Edgar Cayce woke up, Al Lane exclaimed,
"You gave me a perfect diagnosis, told me how I feel and what to do, medicines, a diet, and a set of exercises."
Edgar Cayce glanced over some of the scrawled notes and then collapsed back onto the couch in disbelief and declared,
How could I tell you these things? I've never heard of most of the names you have here. I've never studied psychology or biology or chemistry or anatomy. I've never even worked in a drugstore. Are these patient medicines?
According to Al Lane, the experiments were referred to as readings, and Edgar Cayce's sleep state was described as a self-induced hypnotic trance that leads to clairvoyance. Edgar Cayce was still trying to process the significance of his newfound gift. In the summer of 1902, after exhausting all medical treatments, Charles H. Dietrich, one of the most eminent and respected men in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, turned to Edgar Cayce as his last hope to help his ailing child. The young girl suffered from convulsions which severely affected her mental growth. Medical professionals had initially diagnosed the young child with a fatal brain affliction. However, through Edgar Cayce's assessment, it was discovered that she had sustained a spinal injury. By realigning the vertebrae, her condition was successfully treated, and she fully recovered within a few months. This reading for the 5-year-old launched Edgar Cayce onto the center stage and forever transformed his life. With Al Lane in tow, Edgar Cayce conducted 2 diagnostic readings per day for patients who were sick or injured. However, due to Al Lane's lack of a medical license, the partnership was short-lived. Edgar Cayce regarded his abilities as a divine gift, thus rejecting any payments for his readings. Consequently, he and his family spent most of their lives on the brink of poverty. After a 6-year engagement, he married Gertrude Evans on June 17, 1903. They were blessed with 3 sons, although one passed away in infancy. Edgar Cayce relied on his photography skills to support his young family. He demonstrated exceptional talent in this field and established his own photo studio. Meanwhile, Dr. Wesley Harrington Ketchum, a homeopathic physician from Hopkinsville, played a vital role in introducing Edgar Cayce to the medical community and ultimately leading to his widespread recognition. Upon learning of Edgar Cayce's clairvoyant diagnosis abilities, Dr. Ketchum issued a challenge for Edgar to validate his skills. The results were indisputable. Edgar Cayce was authentic. Soon, Dr. Ketchum presented his findings at a medical conference in Boston. On October 9, 1910, the New York Times featured an article with the headline, "Illiterate Man Becomes a Doctor When Hypnotized," catapulting Edgar Cayce into the national spotlight. During a lecture in 1996, our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, mentioned Edgar Cayce.
I remember America has a very famous psychic, Edgar Cayce. Some people don't believe that he has the concentration power to leave his body. And the body just been left behind, then he moved himself, astrally or spiritually out of his body and go search for some sickness in some people's person in the body or search something else somewhere else. So they try to experience stick needles into his fingernails, stick nails in his fingers just to make sure that he really doesn't feel anything. My God, he did not feel at that time. When he woke up, he did feel. Poor guy. So that's how the society treats a genius or extraordinary person sometimes. It's not Jesus' time only.
For more information on Edgar Cayce, please visit edgarcayce.org.